morning, guys. It's me, Gary Lee Stanley, your sales guy. How are you doing today? Today, we're going to talk about our favorite subject, which is sales. All right. We got a cool subject for ourselves today, so let's go ahead and go diving right on into it. What is our subject for today? Our subject for today is selling. Should young people buy life insurance? What do you think? I said selling. Should you, or a young person, that's anybody from age 18 to probably about, I'd say close to 50. Should you buy life insurance, and what's the benefits for you and why it's important? You know, it's a big deal. You know, my name is Gary Lee Stanley. I am your sales guy. I told you I'd tell you things and talk about things that a lot of people don't talk about. And people don't like to talk about life insurance. And I'll tell you the reason why. Because they don't want to talk about death. They don't want to talk about reality. But hey, man, after this pandemic, reality set in. And things happen to good, innocent people. And things happen on a daily basis. And one of the things that I've learned in my life is that shit happens. Okay, and I had to say it like that because that's about as vulgar as I'm going to get on this. You know, I know it's a little bit morbid possibly to talk about life insurance, talk about death, you know. But see, in reality, a lot of young people are more probably smarter than you give them credit for. But you have to approach them in the right way. You've got to talk to them about things that are going to benefit them and their family and so forth. Because, you know, a lot of times when you're in your 20s and so forth, 30s and 40s, you're on some kind of a budget. You bought a house possibly, or you're living in a nice apartment, a condo. You're starting to live your life. You got some children, and things can get expensive. So priorities are not always, you know, taking care of the afterlife. And what happens is when it happens, it's in a bad situation. And people are overwhelmed and they've got to go borrow from Peter Paul and get online and just deal with a lot of situations that can be so very uncomfortable. And see, if you talk to a young person about buying life insurance, the way I would approach it mostly is the benefits that are going to help them and help them as far as their family is concerned. You know, when you're young, you can get insurance so cheap. I'm telling you guys, you can get it to where it's so affordable. They even have policies like term insurance policies. You know, I know a couple of providers, the carriers, that have the capability for you to be able to get a 30-year term life insurance policy, $250,000 all the way up to even more, where you have the possibility, if you do not pass away within that 30-year mark, and that's all the way up to age 60, okay? If that means you're buying it up to age 60, and some of those policies are age 50, where within 20 years or 30 years, you have the capability to get every dime that you put into the policy that you paid for it and get your money back. Okay, I'm like, man, that's a deal. That is an opportunity that it's like a forced savings account, and you can't beat that. So if you're buying a $100,000 policy and you've put into it 20 or 30 or 40 or 50,000, depending on how much you put into your policy, it's going to come back to you at a time when you're probably going to say, thank you, I really needed this money. Okay, because see, if I would have done mine 20 years ago, right now I'd be getting a big old fat paycheck, big old tax-free paycheck, and I would be able to maybe invest in whatever I want to, maybe a little bit more of retirement, put something in an annuity, save money on it for a rainy day. So young people, don't think that just because you're young, you don't matter. Young people, you're very important. You can buy life insurance on your children so cheap, it's just amazing. And if you're a young adult from age 18 all the way up to age 50, it's amazing how much insurance you can get, and it's so inexpensive. They even have programs where you can pay your insurance completely off, you know, within so many years, 10 years. It's amazing. And see, and that means it would be in play for the rest of your life. How do you sell life insurance to young people? You tell them the truth, man. You talk about realities. What's the benefit for them? Everybody, when they're young, we think we're going to live forever. Okay, I just know too many people in this last few years have just passed away, and I never really thought about death until I got into life insurance. I've got 2 policies on my son. He's a young man. I bought one that's really when he was about, I don't know, probably about 13 years old, 14, and it was like a $25,000 policy. I'm paying like $12 a month, 13, $14 a month. Can't remember. It just comes right out of my check. I don't even think about it. And then I had to buy another one when he turned 18, so that way if something were to happen to him, and see, I was thinking outside the box. I got a big policy on him because, see, when you're young, you do a lot of things that, maybe aren't so smart. We all make those mistakes. We make some good choices. We make some bad choices. And sometimes we make some choices that are forever. And so I bought this policy because I know once my son is out of college that he's probably going to meet somebody. And maybe before then. They get married, they have a kid, or maybe they don't get married. I don't know. But they have a kid. And see, my grandchildren, I wanted to make sure that if something happened to his father, that they wouldn't be burdened by it. I've seen too many of my friends, their parents didn't think about the future. They died, and then they end up having to pay literally, I don't know, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000 for a funeral. Even if it's a cremation, it's like $3,000 or $4,000. And most people don't have that. And so my simple job is to find out what's the benefit for the customer, but also to make sure that it'll fit in their budget. And you got to make sure that you tell them, hey, listen, you don't want this to lapse. You don't want it to not be there for you, because see, least expect it and something will happen. And you can look at it like this. Look, you're going to be buying car insurance. You're going to be buying a house. You're going to be buying renter's insurance. And something devastating has to happen for you to get any kind of money out of it. And you can pay for 30, 40, 50 years, and you never get anything out of it. But I guarantee you this, you're going to die. Somebody in your family is going to die. And if they don't have any life insurance, what are they going to do? They're going to have to borrow, beg, and sometimes steal, depending on the circumstances, just to be able to pay for a funeral. And how do you want to leave your family? You want to leave them with a legacy. You want to at least have a policy in play, $5,000 or $10,000 to get you cremated. It ain't gonna cost you a lot of money, especially when you're young. But then again, you might be one of these people. I have a friend of mine. They had their significant other die the other day. And these nice people are going to walk away with about $500,000. And they are so happy that insurance was in play. This guy was 48 years old. He was young, man. I'm just saying, it just blew me away. I couldn't believe it. And he had bought his insurance, when he was younger, and he lived, and it was like, I don't know. I'm just saying, guys, if you're trying to sell life insurance, you really do need to make sure that you talk to young people. Tell them, look, you're going to die, man. I mean, and you got to throw it in their face like that. And sometimes they don't want to hear it. But see, that blood's not on you no more. Because sometimes people I'll talk to, and they won't show up at their house, or I'll knock on their door, and I'll say, get back to you later. And I've told them a little bit about, what's involved. And they're afraid. They don't want to spend their money. They don't feel like they don't want to be sold. But see, here's the reality. I have 3 policies on myself, so I believe in it. I believe in insurance. I believe that when I die, I'm going to go to heaven. But I also know that in my heart, that if I don't tell people about what I do, shame on me, man. Like I said, they don't see the perceived value. Everybody's they want a new car. They want to go to the gym. We want to smoke vaping. We want to smoke cigarettes. They want to drink. They want to party. We want to have a good time. We got all this money to blow on cable TV, internet, digital, computers, all this stuff, shoes, clothes, but we don't have a little bit of money, less than 30, 40, 50 bucks to put on something that will guarantee that, hey, man, when we die, we're going to be taken care of. And we don't have to be a burden on our family. I don't know about you, man, but I'm not that guy. And young people today, they're more open to it, but you just got to put them in, you got to get them in the right situation. You can buy insurance, and see, here's the thing. A lot of people will say, well, I got insurance at work. Well, let me tell you what, I've worked for a lot of companies, and I've been in sales since the 80s in one form or capacity. And I've seen some companies that were in business 100 years, 50 years, 40 years, 20 years. They ain't here no more. Okay? So people give that excuse, well, I don't need no insurance, my company. And see, here's the thing, you got to remind them, look, you're getting this insurance now, but if they let you go, and it could be 5 or 10 years from now, you're going to end up having to pay those prices in the future. And those prices in the future, it ain't gonna be beneficial. So you might as well go ahead and get something in play. You're going to either pay me now or you're going to pay me later, and it's going to be a hell of a lot more expensive later. And I talk to people just like I talk to you, man. I believe in insurance. I've seen it work. I've helped people buy stuff in my lifetime that it ain't even, look, people buy stuff and after a couple of years it ain't even here. But see, in reality, if you buy life insurance, it's guaranteed going to pay off. It's going to pay off, baby. And it's going to pay off big. So it's based on your income, how much money you can afford. I like the idea if you get a term insurance, get you some accidental life insurance. Because most of the time when people die when they're young, it's because of an accident, okay? And accidents happen every single day. But if you buy life insurance when you're young, you're locking in the prices at such a low price. And if you get a term insurance where you have the capability to get your money, at least 50% of it back, 100% of it back within 20, 15, 30 years, that's a pretty good deal. And if you buy a regular term insurance for 30 years, and you don't get your money back, but you can buy it so cheap, it's really a small investment. It's like something you can put in your portfolio, and you're more valuable than you think you are. And when you have the life insurance puts you in a better position. And I'm going to tell you what, being in a better position means, it's just a good idea. And when you talk to young people about a portfolio, you're talking about things that are benefiting them, their future. Because, see, a lot of young people, they want to have a better future. They want to be able to have things and be able to, feel important. And if you have an insurance policy, on your kids or on your family or on your, the young adults, it's a big deal. And if you can help them, don't be too shy. Help them. Get it. It's important. My name is Gary Lee Stanley. I'm getting ready to go in here and go see my mom and my dad and hang out with them for a little bit over here at the store. And then hopefully I'll run into some people I can talk to them about life insurance. Especially young people, man. I'll tell you what, young people are dying all over the place. All you have to do is go on YouTube and look at the stars, and those people, they're so young, man. People are dying. And it's inevitable, guys. It will happen. I'm not trying to sell you something because I'm already sold. I'm just letting you know it's so important that if you talk to somebody like me, my name is Gary Lee Stanley. Okay, I live here in Northeast Florida, Jacksonville. If you want to talk to me about life insurance, you can call me at 904-662-8933. I won't bullshit you. I'll give you some information. We can do stuff over the phone. We can get you squared away, and then you can be in a better position. You can rest at peace when things happen. Peace of mind, it really does work. And I'll tell you what, your parents will probably really appreciate it. And your beneficiary, whoever your beneficiary will go, wow, I'm glad they thought about me. Because I'll tell you what, that burden of having to go ahead and bury somebody, take care of whatever, if they're living in a house, if you're needing mortgage protection because, the family's upside down, it's nice to have that money so it can help them in the transition. I love you guys. Give me a holler, 904-662-8933. And also sell real estate too. So, give me a holler. I'm Gary Lee. Give me a thumbs up. Share my videos. All right. Get that insurance, baby.